for joining me today. As you guys know, I'm your internet bestie, just trying to provide motivation, helping you to walk out your best self. And in today's thing, just talking about guilty pleasures. And we're going to talk about Love is Blind, After the Altar, Season 3, and just the episodes that have just dropped. So here looking at Bertice and Nancy, hopefully I'm saying his name correctly. So I guess on this episode, they reconnected and they were still kind of having like a friendship, not a relationship, but a friendship-ish. It's so funny because like you're watching it and you just want to jump through the screen and tell her like, listen, what are you doing? Like, leave him alone, walk away from it. Like, I feel like she's beautiful, she's like a boss, you know, she carries herself well, she has her own stuff going on. Like, you do not need that in your life. I feel like for him, I feel like there's not much to say. I feel like he's just young and he just has a lot of maturing to do and has a lot of growing to do. And I feel like for him, maybe eventually he'll look back and realize like that was just something that could have been a huge blessing for him had he, you know, not been immature in a sense. But I think that that just comes with age, and maybe he's just in the, you know, the stage of where he needs to like explore and like find himself. But I think that that eventually might be something he might potentially regret. In regards to Nancy, I think that she just, you know, like she has so much going for her. Like the world is at her feet basically. Like there's plenty of fish out there that would be like absolutely like taken with everything that you have to offer and like who you are, and you just want to jump through the screen and shake her and be like, listen, like, do you know who you are, type of thing. And I feel like we have to give her grace because it's like I'm looking at her and I'm like, girl, why? But at the same time, it's like I'm pretty sure a lot of us can relate where we've had situations like that in our past. Okay, it's not just me. I know you all have had situations like that in your past where you've kind of let things slide that you probably shouldn't have let slide. Situations, whatever you want to call them. But there were situations in your relationships where you just tolerated, you allowed things, you kind of like kept going for something that you shouldn't have gone for. So guys, let's give her some grace in that regards. But I mean, I think that maybe when they filmed it, I think as to where she is now is not necessarily the same place, but you know, girl, go do you. Like the world is at your feet and just on to the next for you. So Colleen and Matt, I don't know what it is about Colleen, but I feel like she always looks like she's really scared or like something's going on that she's not really saying. And I don't know if it's necessarily just like how she comes off, because I know for me sometimes I can be super awkward, but I feel like for her, she seems like when she's doing interviews, like she's very uncomfortable, or as in like you want to say blink twice if something is like going on that we don't know, type of thing. It's like you don't really know what's going on with her because her body language, I feel, is like a really off from like what she's verbalizing with her actual mouth. So I feel like people need to just allow people to do whatever they want in regards to relationships. I think for them, they said that they got married, but they weren't living together. I feel like people need to allow people to just be who they need to be for themselves. Like, you know each other, you know what works for you and like for your relationship. So I mean, it's not ideal, but again, they have a plan, so let them kind of just work with the plan that they've, you know, decided for themselves. They're taking it in a pace where they're eventually going to get to that point. So, you know, good for them in that regards. But I don't know, there's just something, they seem like they're a nice couple together, but it's just like, there's something with her in regards to like, I don't know, something's going on, but her body language and what she's saying don't match. If I'm just like the only one catching that, I don't know. But yeah, like good luck to them. So for SK and Raven, this tells you kind of like how they remingled their connection. He re-proposed to her. Actually, spoiler alert, if you haven't watched it, maybe you should go and watch it before you watch this video. But he did re-propose to her, which she said yes to. And then basically the engagement was called off because of the alleged cheating that obviously took place. I'm so confused in regards to this couple. Initially, when they first started out, I thought it was kind of like weird. I felt for Raven like her intentions weren't really true in regards to why she was there, but I slowly fell in love with her because just her personality bloomed and just like who she was came through, and actually started to really like her as an individual on the show and as a person. In regards to SK too, like he came off like a very sincere, knowing what he wanted type of guy, and like, you know, they just seemed like they slowly slowly worked their way into a progression that was like really good for them. However, after all the things that have kind of come out in regards to their relationship and just him, I don't know, I'm kind of on the fence in regards to, was it sort of like, I don't know, was it sort of like a situation where they kind of went with the pace of it just because for show? I don't know. And even in regards to just like their relationship, I feel like he's the kind of guy that you kind of have to be wary of, and it's kind of like in a sense because it's like one of those people who you don't necessarily like off the bat, but then you kind of fall for them, and then they kind of like their whole personality and who they are turn into something that's completely different from kind of what they sold you on. I'm pretty sure a lot of women can relate to that, where you fell for someone thinking that they were one way and then they turn out to be something completely different from what you thought, especially the ones that seem so quiet and so nice and just maybe the intentions weren't exactly what you thought they were technically. So in regards to their relationship, I don't know, it just seems transactional, I should say, you know, like I have question marks in regards to that. I genuinely wanted the best for the two of them because they seem like such a nice couple together, but again, like in today's day and age, you really don't know why people go on those shows, you know, what the intentions are, what the motivations are. But in regards to them, like it's a little disappointing that it didn't work out, because I think that from the beginning and the transition, you know, they moved slowly, but it looked like they were getting to like a good space and a good spot. But sadly, as we know, allegedly they're not together anymore, so womp womp. And on Cold and Zinad, hopefully I'm saying the name right, guys, forgive me. I don't even know what to say in regards to this. Basically, they just sort of kind of had like a conversation where they kind of just had an awkward conversation. Like I felt extremely awkward for both of them in that scenario. I kind of like feel like things are missing, because it's kind of like what she gives off and what she felt in regards to Cole doesn't match up in regards to what we actually saw on TV. But there's a lot of things that are cut out that we obviously don't get to see. So I'm like on the 50-50 with this. Like in regards to the scene, I think it was with the tangerine or the orange or whatever the case might be, like we can clearly see, or I saw from my own eyes, that it didn't align with what she said. Like I don't think what she felt that he said or whatever the case might be matched up to what was actually shown. So it's kind of like, I feel like they have just two different personalities. I feel like he's just a fun, like, you know, like says kind of what he says, not in an intentional way to maybe hurt anybody, just like that chill type of vibe. And I think she's more serious. So sometimes when you have those types of personality, it can clash, because it's like they're not on the same humorous level, or, you know, so I feel like maybe that could be it too. Hopefully, I don't know, like I just feel like there's a lot of question marks there, because she seems to have a lot that she's feeling in regards to him, but it's like we don't get to see what she's seeing in regards to what he did type of thing. So I don't know if there's a lot that we just haven't seen on TV maybe, or I don't know, like I just have a lot of question marks in regards to this whole situation or this whole connection. I feel like, again, it's just a matter of the personality types. I feel like he's just a more fun, says certain things, but it might come off the wrong way, but it's not in an intentional way to maybe hurt anybody. And like her personality seems like she takes in a lot, that because she's also said on the show that she's been through like a lot of trauma and stuff in her life. So, you know, things maybe don't fly as easy with her. I don't know, but I feel like there's just a lot of miscommunication when it comes to that relationship, and it's probably for the best that they decided to go their separate ways, but which is, again, it's kind of sad, but I think there's just a lot of miscommunication, and I just still have a lot of question marks in regards to that whole situation. Like, let me know below if you feel the same way, because I don't know, the math ain't adding up, or the math ain't adding, I don't know, it just seems like a lot is kind of missing from that whole scenario and what we kind of got to see, or, you know, and again, just grace with everybody. Like, we don't fully know what happens because we only get to see a snippet of stuff that they want to show us, and, you know, the storylines they want to feed us. So who knows, right? So again, guys, the whole point of this is just, again, this is the guilty pleasure of the stuff that, you know, you get to watch. And again, it's just like, these are people's lives, and I just try to, you know, we watch it because it's entertaining, but at the same time, it's like I try to give grace. Like, so on the last couple, I believe it's Alexa and Brennan. Hopefully I'm saying that. Guys, I'm not the greatest when it comes to names, so forgive me. But I feel like for them, well, during the episodes, basically, they said that they're just kind of enjoying the stage of like marriage, and it's been good for them. Obviously, they had moments, but it's been a good vibe and ride for them, you know, just overall. They seem like a good couple. I guess the only thing that I didn't really like is the whole situation with Brennan and like Cole. Like, just give some grace, right? I know allegedly, I think things came out in regards to him right now, which I'm sure he wants people to give him grace during what has come out. But again, at the same time, it's just like, give people grace. Like, I mean, you never know what can happen in life when it comes to your own life. So the moral of the story when it comes to life, just give people grace. So again, I wish them the best of luck. They seem like a nice couple, so we'll see where they are, you know, in a couple of years or whatever the case might be. For people who are married, they know that marriage is not the easiest, right? So, you know, hopefully it just continues to be great and well for them. Well, guys, at the end of the day, let's just have grace for people. Like, you never know when your life can flip, and you really need people to just give you grace in your own life, guys. But again, thank you so much for joining me. Please make sure you subscribe if you have not. We just have amazing content. Go ahead and check out the previous content that I have on this channel, and I will see you guys soon, guys. Bye.